Yay. Kathy. Yay. Mm-mm-mm. And Maureen. Yay. How are you guys?
Hello.
Look, I got a roadie's card in the mail. Did you?
Yes.
That was neat.
Wasn't that neat?
It says, we love prompting staff. I was there when they took that picture.
I
'Cause they-
thought you'd be there because they went to that meeting.
Yeah, they took it at the promptings premiere, but I didn't know what it was then. That's why I'm not in the picture. That's awesome. It says, hello, Lisa Rohde. Thank you for being a continuous part of the community. I'm so excited to where our friendships and businesses take us this year. May you enjoy displaying this photo and know that you always have our friendship and support. The QR code leads to the 2023 survey, so that it's handy to complete, so we can celebrate your success too. That's awesome.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. Hi, Michelle. Hey. So yeah, that's the one. I like to show some of the cards I got, and Peg sent me a good one.
I was gonna say, you got a roadies card.
Yes.
Yes, that was from all the roadies that group. That's fun. They're so fun.
Yay.
Kathy and I are both in outer space floating together.
Kathy. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, Peg sent me. Peg's the one I went to the promptings premiere with, and my roommate, and she sent me, we were sitting there talking at one of the breaks, and I was trying to get her to help me figure out what to send Jeff West for, like a gift, because it's hard to buy something for somebody who's got everything they want. And he said, why don't you talk to Jordan Adler, because he has those branded cigars, and Jeff smokes cigars. So we dragged Jordan over there. I didn't realize that Jordan had the branded cigars. I hadn't seen that at that moment, but Peg had seen it. So that was awesome. So what we did was I sent, oh, hey, that's Alex. Oh, and the dog. I sent Jeff the cigars straight from the shop where Jordan sells them. But I sent Jeff a card with the Beach Money book attached to it.
Ooh.
And I said, because he doesn't know Jordan Adler, because he's not in SendOutCards, Jeff West isn't. He's just the co-author of my book. I don't mean just, so it's a whole different sphere of people. He doesn't know any of those guys. So I thought he would find it more interesting if he knew the story behind the cigars. So I sent him the Beach Money and a card. And then I private messaged him separate. And I said, when you get the book, the Beach Money book, make sure you take a picture with the cigar, our book, and his book. And then I can send it to Jordan. And so that's what happened. And Jordan put it on social media. So Peg took that picture off and sent it to me. And that's
wonderful. Oh, look at that. How cute. Wait a minute, hold on. Hold on, let me make you big. Let's do this. Okay, come on. Pin you big. Okay. Do screenshot. Okay, there it goes. Okay.
So that's my co-author, Jeff West, and that's our book together, and that's Jordan's book and the cigar.
Yay!
So that was awesome. That worked out.
That's cute.
Yeah, he took that, and then he took this on a beach chair, the things together. And she wrote, wow, what an incredibly thoughtful co-author gift. Of course it is, because she told me to do it. She's so funny. She's the one that came up with the great idea. That was all her. But because
that was Peg?
Yeah.
Okay.
Peg Duchesne. For some reason I didn't think of it, because I couldn't, when I did know that he smoked cigars at that point, because prior to that, I tried to get him a birthday present back in September, and somebody told me he smoked cigars, but I couldn't ask him. And then I thought, oh God, cigars is one of them things that's probably like some things I really have a preference on. I bet cigars is like that because cigarettes are like that. You know what I mean? You don't give somebody a different brand of cigarettes. They don't like that. So I thought, oh, I don't know if I dare do that. But then
Well, you throw it out on Facebook and says, just curious, asking for a friend, what are good cigars if you were going to gift somebody? You would have probably had Jordan answer and he might have answered and somebody else might have answered. You never know.
Well, this ended up working out good because Peg knew, so she could confirm that he really smoked cigars. And then I didn't know about Jordan selling them. So this all worked. And actually Jeff liked the cigars. That's even better.
That's good.
He smoked them all, yeah.
I can't stand the smell of them. It's like, ugh. But anyway.
I've never
Pizza.
tried it. I've never tried to smoke cigars. I don't smoke cigarettes either, so I
Yeah.
don't know. I
To
don't know.
each his own. That's right.
To each his own, right? Doesn't bother me. The smell I used to like is when I was a little kid, my grandma cleaned house for some rich people, or at the time it seemed like they were rich people.
Rich to you people. Yeah.
Rich to me people. And
That's
I was a
right.
little kid and had to go with her every day. And the man of the house came home at lunch from his corporate job and smoked a pipe.
Oh, yeah.
I always associated with the smell of the pipe smoke with rich people.
Yeah.
Right, because of that.
I had an uncle that smoked. He wasn't rich, but but he always smoked the pipe, and he had the Sherlock Holmes one, the one
Oh,
that
yeah.
went all down, and he always smoked a vanilla blend. And if he smoked anything else, I'm like, Uncle Delbert, what are you smoking? That's kind of yucky. But the vanilla actually broke it up, but ugh, the rest of it, I'm like,
Oh, that's neat.
yeah.
Yeah, and this one came from Maureen, who was on here a minute ago. She must have had internet problems. And it
Might have.
says, is Maureen, and it says, there's nothing like a smiling baby sloth to brighten your day. That's so
No
cute.
kidding. How cute is that?
That is cute.
That's
So
adorable.
there's that one. And then the only other one I want to show you is one I sent to myself. And I've showed this idea before, but I don't know if you saw it, Michelle, but at the prompting premiere, I had a signing autograph card.
Yes, you said that.
Yeah. And this is the one. I've got the Avon convention coming up in August. And
Fun.
I did, matter of fact, this is funny. The first time I did the first time I did it lately, because I did this before with the kid at camp and all that, but I didn't think about bringing them for myself. So the first time I did it for myself was the Avon convention where I met Jeff. He drove down there to have breakfast with me. We'd already done the book by then, but I hadn't met him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we did the whole thing on Zoom. But anyway, I was showing him the card that I had it just was like this one, except it had a different front and it had autographs. This is for this year. And I'm
I'll
going
be
to
right back. I got to get it on. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm going to bring like 3 of them this year because last year I filled the first one in a day and the convention isn't a day long. So
Yeah.
I like people to be able to write big if they want to. So I'm going to bring 3 of them. So I got to mail myself 2 more, but these are only $1.50 upcharge. And the rest of it is included in my subscription. So I can get this awesome looking souvenir for $1.50.
So what
that's
size
cute.
is that?
Say again?
What size is that?
This is called the big card.
Oh, okay.
So
So it's
this
like-
is the only one that if you have a subscription and SendOutCards, this is the only size that has an upcharge.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
So it's
Yeah,
$1.50.
I've seen them, but I've never used one of them. So I always wondered how big it
Oh.
was.
Yeah, and it's 8.5 by 11. It's like a picture.
Huh.
So matter of fact, now that you know that, if you have your kids' school pictures, if you have to buy them or your grandkids, instead of buying the package where they print your pictures, it's far cheaper to buy the JPEG from that company because you can buy the JPEG and then send yourself a card with it on it and you'll have the 8.5 by 11 picture. And you can send it to all your relatives. You don't have to buy everybody a picture. Right? Because
That
it's way
works.
cheaper. The company that sells the school pictures will sell you just the JPEG for very little money. And then you can print them yourself on the cards for very little money.
And then going
need-
one step further from that, I don't know if yearbook people, if yearbooks are even out. Like when I was doing school, yearbooks were out. We got it literally the last week of school and we're like crazy sorting and doing whatever. that'd be great to have just senior last minute autograph stuff.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've done this for like the soccer team, for camp, for the theater group. We've done it for all those
Nice.
kind of things. I have for myself, I've done it for the Promptings premiere. I did it for the Avon convention, and I'm going to bring them to the next convention. But anything you go to, I think it works good. It just says autographs in here. And I usually
Wow.
use this kind of pen, but you could use anything. They have this in a bunch of different colors, but I usually like the black, because if I end up hanging it on the wall, which I do lots of times, the other colors fade and the black doesn't. So
Yeah. They've
Yeah,
even got
but-
Click It Sharpies out now too.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that helps.
But that's what I'm gonna I'm bringing 3 at least this year, because last year I filled the 1 in like a day. So
Yeah, where's your convention?
this year it's DC.
Ooh, nice place.
Yeah. I
Nice
don't know,
place.
is are they doing one with promptings? Probably not like that. They're doing this
I haven't heard anything yet because they're doing that
the little things instead.
Promptings
Yeah.
Academy. Probably they're doing it in June and November,
Yeah.
something
I
like
might
that.
yeah, I
So
might want to do that instead.
yeah,
Because I usually do something with them too. And I did go
Yeah.
to the thing in January, but I still want to do something else with them.
yeah. I'm debating. I've got an event coming up with I don't know if you know Sean G. Murphy, but anyways, he's got an event on his little ranch in North Central Arkansas is in
Ooh.
June. And then I'm like, oh, I'd really like to go do a promptings. I'd love to go back to Utah. And then now that I know where it is, tack on a day on either side to go to the archives, the Family Research Center.
Oh yeah.
So you can learn about your own family history and whatnot. We've got my dad's lineage kind of figured out, but mom's is obsolete because she's German. And then we found out Germany is one of those countries that they don't have a lot of things digitized yet. You have to,
yeah.
and it's like, oh. So their whole basement of their facility is for Europe. I'm like, oh, well, that's cool.
Well, that's neat. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So,
neat.
Yeah. But those cards would be cool.
so you
I've
haven't been
gotten
to
one
the new
card like
place?
that, a big one. It was a very nice surprise. So I got that with brownies when
Oh, nice.
the only time I've ever been to a Greener Still Send Out Cards promptings event was in
Yeah.
that time in November 2 years ago. And Joy Kohanitz, I think had left her phone accidentally in the Uber. And I had the
Oh.
lady's number from the Uber and I called her real quick. I said, are you here? She says, well, I'm late. I said, can you come back? I think her phone's in the back seat. She says, yeah, I think I see it. She circled back around and Joy sent me a big, huge thank you card with some
Phew.
brownies for saving her and
Phew.
saving her phone because everything was on her phone. So,
Wow. So you haven't been to the new facility thing yet?
No,
Oh, it's
No.
nice.
no.
It's nice. It's huge, but it's nice. It's nice. Especially compared, because I was at the other one a few times, especially compared to the other one. This is humongous.
No, I like what they've done. Sorry, ladies. And hello, Maureen. Looks like you're just having a yummy lunch. I like how they've wrapped their training area with the big banner stuff. I love how they've done that. They've really personalized it well.
And it's
So that's
big, that's big too, and it seems like it's right in the middle of the whole thing. I'm not sure of the layout if it's really in the middle, but you can tell that Cody had a lot to do with it because their PA system could rock the building off its foundation.
Yeah, they probably have to
He's all
buffer
into that.
insulate if they got
No,
neighbors. Yeah.
he's all into that. So so they
Yeah.
probably put it there. Well, I mean, they would have had to build that to soundproof the building anyway, because they're machines. When they're running the
True.
machine, that's louder than any music they're gonna play.
It's true.
But that was awesome.
And that's fascinating. To see that anyway, to see that whole process is just
Oh yeah. To do the card,
mind-blowing.
yeah, to have them do the card thing is, and they have a big, their thing is, their offices now aren't separated. They're in a big open space.
oh neat.
So they're all sitting around, and when you go through, they're all just sitting there doing stuff. It was neat. So yay. And they have like a little store for some of the stuff you
Mhm.
can buy. So that was fun too. It was awesome. But the funny thing was, I'm from New Hampshire, right? Right. What are we unthawed? Maybe a month a year, right? And we were out there in January, so it was cold, and everybody was waiting in line for the food truck on that one night where they had the food truck. And it was funny because they were all like bitching and moaning about the cold. And I'm like, I didn't even put my jacket on for him, like, because it was like 50. It wasn't like it was 12. So, but it was funny. Yeah, that was interesting. That was fun. Oh, and you know what happened that night? Um, that food truck was supposed to be that we each paid our way,
Yes,
and he picked
and
it
then
up.
Cody and Jody picked up the tab on it all. I thought that was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that was like right. We're all sitting there going, and he's like, "Oh, by the way, we're picking that up." Oh, thank you. That's awesome. And even the other days where I think the lunch was included in the ticket or something, they had a catering service that was awesome that brought in a catering service that was really good. So I was surprised because usually when you go to especially conventions kind of stuff, on a trip that you earned is one thing, but on a convention, it's usually the food's not usually fancy in any way. And this was a really nice catered thing. So anyway, yeah, I guess the same reason, it must be the same reason that I call my friends their maiden names, and the stores in my hometown are I called them the name of the store when I lived there. I don't care what it changed to. So I've said SendOutCards the entire time. I've not made the change along the way, as you know from the announcement for this meeting. So
I'm finally back.
but anyway, I do use some of the other stuff. You know what my favorite, I'm not sure it's on there because I haven't bought in a little bit. The lavender pillow spray. I don't know if they currently sell that. That was in I think that was in Blue 42. They have oh, should we look? Oh, we should look. Because we could tell that, couldn't we? That's a good reason to go look. Because that stuff is excellent. I'm going to share screen. And I'm going to go into Chrome.
All right.
And
I'm
look at
finally
that.
back. I think I'm finally back.
What happened?
My
Yeah.
internet went out.
Oh, well, that's
There's
annoying
major
for you.
solar flare activity going on right now, so a lot of
Oh, is
Yeah.
that why you have your backgrounds like that?
there's a lot of ethereal activity or whatever, solar flares and aurora or borealis and all this extra that's even more intense because it's coming even more south than it normally does. So it messes
Oh.
with all kinds of electronics.
So if people are acting wacky, that's why? Or no, that's not the same
Yeah,
thing.
and it's what is it, a 3/4 main? No, it's a 1/4 main. So yeah.
I sent this to someone already, the Lucky You box. I thought that was cute with the chocolate coins and the caramel. Let's see what else is. Let's see into the new section. Look at that. The salty and sweet treats. Well, that looks good too.
Ooh, that looks good.
Let's get I sent somebody this already. And this actually. I didn't do the meringues. Those are cute.
So does that come with the skillet too?
Yeah.
Down there on the bottom.
Cranberry.
Oh my gosh.
I'm pretty sure. Let's look at the details. It's a little bitty skillet though.
Yeah, but still it's cast iron.
Cast
That means
iron
it's gotta
skillet
be
that includes
uber
ingredients
heavy.
of cranberry and almond brie. Seriously, the cast iron skillet can be kept for future use. Of course it can. That's neat. That's cute for only $29.98.
Yeah, but it would be nice if you could buy the stuff without the skillet once you give them the skillet. You know.
Well, yeah, but it's not well, this is the same with every company I sell.
Yeah.
It's not up to us to think what would be better. It's up to us to deal with what they give us.
Well, we can always
Sorry.
plant the seed and they might see if that's a feature. So there you go.
So what's
Say
the doggy duo? I can't see a picture.
I know it's not showing it yet. I was just hovering, hoping it would pop in. It's my slow internet. That's what that's problem is. Sometimes it pops up after a second. It should pop up after a second. Let's look at the details. Maybe no, it's not showing it still. Black Hawaiian finishing salt. I don't know what that is. But yeah, that's the internet. Okay, back. So let's look at, I think it's Blue 42 that has the sleep spray. It's not in Bella Cadeau, but look, that stuff is awesome. I have sent some of that. You know who I sent some of that to is I sent one of those warm up. I'll show you. These are great though, because sometimes you just need a more expensive gift.
Mhm.
And there's some really good, look at this. You get all this stuff,
Oh,
including
wow.
that bowl. Yeah. And the one I sent was, oh, and that blanket's awesome. I did see that.
Kathy
Um,
Peterson's daughter was wrapped up in it when they first showed that 2 years ago. She was
Oh, nice.
freezing, so Jody went and got it and wrapped her in it. So she had it on the whole time. Those things, the puppy things, those are adorable. The warmies.
Yes, I think that's what I thought I sent JP, but it was a unicorn one. That's maybe it's not in here right now, but it was a unicorn one that you could put in the microwave and make warm.
Mhm.
Oh, and there was a warmies. It was this one.
Mhm.
It was
Mhm.
this one. The warmies unicorn. I sent that to JP and he loved that. That was
great.
right up his alley. And you can warm it in the microwave.
Hmm.
That's awesome. But they got some good stuff in there. Okay. But
And
it's
I'll
not.
just say the warmies, I've seen something similar to
I love that.
those, and the price is right on with send out
Yeah.
cards compared to what it is where I've seen it in a grocery store. It's really within the same pricing. So
I thought that was pretty too.
that
nickel.
Marianne Roos has that. I know she wears it all the time.
Yeah, if anyone wants to buy me that, I'm up for that. Just in case, you never know. That's something. Okay, so let's look under blue 42 because I think that's where that spray is. Let's see if they still have it because I'm sure they go back and forth. Oh, I've been doing a bunch. Let's look at this quick. I've been doing a bunch of the greeting card size gifts randomly with some people too. Look at the money plant's cute. The lavender's cute. I just sent one of them already. Oh, and I sent this to someone who was having a hard time, a hard day. I sent that sticker and she really liked that. Yay. Okay. Yeah, I've sent them almost all of this stuff before. I like to just, put one of these in. There's so little money just once in a while when I'm sending something and it just feels like I need to put something with it. You know what I mean? Do you guys ever do that?
Yeah, I sent the grieving one, the little
Oh, yeah.
poem. It's interesting there. During COVID and everything, I lost contact with somebody, and in October she didn't send me a birthday wish, and I was like, that's weird. I haven't heard from her, and I was finally starting to get my mental health back and everything back, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to contact her to see if she wants to meet to go out to lunch so we can catch up. She passed away the day before I looked into catching.
Oh,
Whoa.
oh,
So I got in touch with her daughter, or her daughter got in touch with me. And so we've been corresponding back and forth. And
oh, nice.
I sent her that in a sympathy card, and I had her send me all her favorite pictures of her mom.
Oh,
And I
put 'em in a
put them
card.
on a
Oh,
card
that's
for her.
perfect.
And I put that one in there for
Oh,
her.
that's awesome. So one of the things, oh, you know what I forgot to tell you is the big card thing. When I met Jeff in San Antonio, I had showed him that autograph card that I was going around with, and I didn't know he added that to the book after that. And in the book, in the blue, said the lady with the blue hair book, it's not an autograph card, it's an autograph book. But that's where he got the idea from, and I didn't realize that until later, much later, like months later. I didn't make the connection between the card that I showed him and the book in the story. So he hadn't finished the story by the time I met him. We were still working on it. So anyway, the reason I even thought about that is because he was giving me a hard time because I sent him candy and he doesn't want to eat candy right now. So in the book, I think it's Kai's husband, Michael, liked to take long baths. One of the men in the book likes to take long baths, and that's really Jeff. Jeff's the one that likes to take long baths. Right, and I know that about him, so I sent him those bath bombs
Nice.
lately,
Nice.
and he loved them. He thought those were awesome. Yeah, so that's awesome. Yeah, the spray isn't here, so maybe that's not. Let's see here. Yeah, we're looking at all the stuff and oh, the candy. Oh, yeah, let's not look at
Oh,
the candy.
all
Oh,
the
the
candy.
gourmet cookies. Yeah. That's what I send the most of out of here for sure. Is brownies and sea salt caramels. I send the most of. Okay. For women. No, baby. I've done a lot of that giraffe, the blue and pink one. Children. Oh, they gave us a box of these at the promptings premiere at our table. Those cookies were a lot better than I thought they'd be. That sounds mean, but I don't like hard ones. There's jewelry. I thought there was a category just for Blue 42.
There it is. There it is.
Oh, there it is. Okay, here it is. Okay, let's see. Ooh, and you know what I like about this? Let's see. Oh, to sleep. The women's vitamins and the men's when they're gummies. You can't beat that, really. Yeah, of course they don't have it right now. That's not after I was talking about it, they don't have it right now, but that's all right. The selection changes all the time. I've also sent a whole bunch of I bet you it's under bestsellers, the gourmet samples pack. So what is you guys' number one gift that your go-to?
Brownies.
Brownies.
Of course, the groovy flower is cute too.
Oh, this is the spray right here, isn't it? In the air.
In the air, is that what it is? Is it a calming spray? You said mood lift.
Help. Oh, I don't know.
It's got lavender in it.
Essential pure lavender and sweet. I spray it on my pillow at night. I think that is it.
That's probably it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. I just thought it said sleep spray, but it doesn't. It says aromatherapy.
Hey,
So-
Michelle, I
Yes, ma'am.
sent the groovy flower to an old family friend who now has Alzheimer's.
Mhm.
And my mom said it's one of her favorite things. She actually remembers her childhood, and she talks about her childhood when she
Oh,
sees
nice.
that. Yeah.
Well, and you read the group when Groovy came out, that was in the late 70s. When Groovy and the heart, I mean, it was and the yellow and the smiley face. That was something in the late 70s because I remember in Girl Scouts, we took baby food jars, and one of the ladies in the scout troop made candles for a living, and she made that lemony yellow candle. But then we ended up taking cut out with vinyl and making smiley faces and adding it to it. But the smiley face and the groovy thing was the thing in the 70s. It's like, okay. Yeah. And that's what that makes me think of. And I sent it to a friend, and she was just like, that's like those candles we made. I'm like, yeah. So
Yep.
it's fun.
And last year for Christmas, all of my neighbors, I sent them the hot chocolate, the little camper with all the hot chocolate in it.
Oh, those are cute. Those
Yeah.
are cute. Okay, so let's just do one here quick. If you pull a card from right here, this is my custom cards. You can send an individual card like this, and it includes it in your subscription. You recognize Shorty? That's Shorty. I took that screenshot when he was on his live. Shorty's the SendOutCards guy.
He's
Anyway,
a mess.
he's a mess.
He's a mess.
Oh, you think he's a mess?
He's a mess.
I think he's funny.
That's what I mean. He's funny, but oh my God, it's like, dude, slow down.
Oh, well, no, he's not the only one. Don't we know a bunch of people like that, like Linda Monavon over at Avon. She definitely should consider decaf, and so should Shorty. I can't seem to call him Shorty to his face. That seems wrong somehow. You know, I don't know. Yeah, his actual name's Matt. Anyway, I digress. Okay, so what I do to get a card to come up in custom cards, they don't all do this for some reason, but if I design the card and mail it to myself, the next day it shows up in my custom cards here. So this is my newest one that I'm sending out to people who I sent out a promo card about the book in October, October, November, and I've sent 5 a day. And then I just went back and worked that list again with this card. So I'm sending 5 a day. So let me just show you it quick. But if I can go in and do my 5 easy because it's showing up in that section. So I just pull it up and hit edit and save. And I always look at it for whatever reason, I'm not sure, but I always do. This is the front, and the whole idea for me is that I made this graphic to use on my timeline on my Facebook page on the top, the banner thing. So I wanted to reuse it somewhere. I want to do work that I can use over and over. So even though it probably should have me and Jeff in the picture, the people I'm mailing to are mostly my people that know me. So on the back, I said something about Jeff, but this is from my timeline. If you go on Facebook, you can see this same graphic. And I was just making the announcement about the book award. So it's kind of like just another excuse to contact people, because most people are going to need to hear about the book or anything else, what you're selling or anything else, 4 or 5 times before they actually go get one. So this was just another touch point for me. So it's just as excited to announce our book, said Lady with the Blue Hair, that I co-authored with Jeff West, was just named a silver medalist in the Axiom Book Awards. And then there's the URL for all the endorsements, and they can buy the book. And then this particular graphic right here, I don't know if you recognize that, but that's a screenshot off the Cody Bateman interview that I did.
Wonderful, beautiful.
So they came up with it, and this is the real funny part. They actually made this mock-up book for Bob Berg's interview on the Cody Bateman show way back. Bob Berg was one of his first shows on there, and they made this because Bob said something about the book during his talk, and they came up with that graphic. But then it was months later that I did the show, and they asked me for a graphic of the book, and I gave them their own graphic back. They didn't realize it. I thought that was cute. So I never actually made the mock-up. They made it. We passed it back and forth. So that's the whole thing to me, is try to use somebody else's work to make my work easier. So
I wonder who designed it. You need to find that out. Find out who designed it.
Oh, they just have a whole room of people doing that kind of stuff.
I know, but it comes to collaboration. Somebody take ownership for it.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point.
I think it's beautiful. It's very well done, Lisa.
So this is the part that was in the Cody interview. I just screenshotted off the video, and then I just did the rest using a Canva template and shoved my picture in there and stuff.
I love your name font. I love that. It's just,
yeah, and that was
it's not an overly crazy neon, but it's a beautiful, it's very catchy because it's against that black background. So it's very catchy.
The way it matches. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. So anyway, once I made this once to do my timeline, I thought, how can I use this again? So there's the back, and it's a flat card. So then let's see, I just proceed to cart, and I send 5 a day. I send 5 flat cards of this a day, and I'm working a list like I always do. And I like this new shopping cart thing. If you hadn't seen it yet, hopefully you've seen it because you would have been mailing cards, but it shows the money right here on this screen, because I know I got a lot of questions. People were confused because it didn't show the actual this part until you went to checkout.
Right.
So then you just hit add recipients, and I'll just put my next person, who happens to be one of my cousins. And I'll check her name here, and then done, because I mail them to everybody who knows me. So this is just one of my cousins is getting it. So yeah, you just don't know who knows who. You know, she may not know anybody, but in direct sales or have any interest in it, but you never know. Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
You said it's a custom card. So a custom card, it must be the package that you're on. A custom card, it's not considered oh my God, I just lost the word. It's not a heartfelt.
A system send.
Is it a system send? And that's part of your package? Or
it would be a system send if I was sending it to more than one person. So if I tried to add a second recipient, or if I scheduled it to be sent later.
Okay.
If I pull it off of here, send it to one person scheduled to go now, it includes it.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Okay, so then this is included in my package. I've got one of the big packages though, so I'm not sure if every package includes it. So then that's it. And I just do 5 of that a day. Yay. If you go back, if instead of getting it off of that custom cards part, so I'll show you that. So here on the card catalog, I go down here and there's that section called custom cards. I can send any of these individually, and there's a whole bunch of them. You can go see all, and there's a whole bunch of ones that I've sent individually lately, you know, thank you cards and stuff like that. Any of these I could resend, including that one. No, this is to another rep, but that's that same card, the big one. And it'll include it in my thing as long as I send one of them, an immediate. Okay.
And some of my
But
favorite people on there, Jenny and Marcel, you got their pictures. So you're doing a thing with them. Is it next week?
No, that tonight, Jenny.
Oh, that's tonight. That's right. That's right. Sorry.
Where is that the one?
Go down.
No, that wasn't the one. That was a different one. Where'd you see them guys as one?
Right there.
Oh, here.
Jenny and Marcel.
Yeah. That I think that might have been a thank you. Let me look. No, that was probably just a let's
Just
see.
because, but
Love those
perfect because
smiles.
you got her purple.
Yeah, love those smiles, Fridge Worthy. That
Yeah.
was it. Yeah, that was just
Wonderful
a random
people.
card. Facebook espionage. She's on the show tonight, on Jeff and my show tonight.
That's
Yeah.
it. I was like, I knew I read it. It's on my clock on my phone, I'm sure. So that's
Yeah,
fun.
but so these are mostly like espionage ones that end up in this pile, in this
Cool.
section. Yeah, and look, I send Jeff a card almost every show that he and I do together, because this sounds weird, but I don't ever want him to think he should have picked somebody else for this book. I want him to be without a doubt thankful he picked me. So I want to keep reminding him how awesome it was that he picked me. Yeah, I don't want him to ever think that was a bad idea. Even when I was snot bubble crying there when we were recording the audio, I sent him candy after that. So yes, indeed.
Well, you're unforgettable, Miss Lisa. I haven't met you yet, other than got to know you a little through this, and then you were on Jenny's thing, and I got to know you even more with you and Jeff. And you're unforgettable. So your energy, your and Jeff's energy is so powerful.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
now, have you met Jenny? Have you met Jenny face to face?
No, but then again, I've only met Jeff once.
Yeah. Jenny's a glamazon. She's, oh my God, she's like, she's like, what, 6 foot? I mean, she's a tall girl, real tall girl. Yes.
Wow. No, I'm sure. I didn't realize I'm only 5'5". I didn't realize I was short till right.
Yeah, you'll be like not at her armpit, but her armpit's probably back here because she's like way up here. But she will scooch down to take pictures with you.
I like, of course, I like her anyway because of the hair.
Oh yeah, she is
kindred spirits.
Wonderful gal.
So what was funny is that somehow when Jeff was looking around we were both, not that we're competitive in any way, right? Yeah, we're wicked competitive. But anyway, we were both looking for interviews to line up when we first were doing the book. And Jeff lined up that one on the Badass Direct Sales Mastery, except he didn't understand that it's a play that BDSM meant something else too. He didn't know that. And I didn't have to tell him, but it was my privilege to share that information with him.
Because I flat out asked her. I mean, the day I met her, we met through a tech mapping event, and it was in St. Louis. I'm 2 hours south of St. Louis, so I drove to St. Louis to meet Adrian and oh my God, Tom. And I'm like, I get to the hotel where it's at because it's right by the airport. And first thing you know, when you get there and you've been driving for 2 hours, you got to go somewhere. So we went into the ladies' room, walking to the ladies' room, and here's this lady at the paper towels with purple hair. And I'm like, Jenny, give her a big old hug. I'm like, don't hug me too tight. I got to pee. But we're hugging in a minute. Okay. So we literally met in the bathroom, and then, anyways, but she'd met Adrian and Tom, and Adrian's like, you're tall, you know, but you just love her. And I had asked her, I flat out asked her, I said, why? And she goes, why not? You know, I'm like, yeah, and you know, and it's
Oh, the
it's her
BDSM
brand.
thing? That's
Yeah.
smart. That's
And yeah,
smart
and
because
she's
it's
like, why
shocking.
not? She said, because that's the quirkiness and the
Yes.
difference of her. That is
Yes.
the essence of her. Yeah.
And that's fine.
that becomes-
because you
so that-
want something a little quirky.
So just like you with the blue hair, hers is the purple hair.
Right.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I'm doing I've been building my brand separate from the direct sales company that I rep for as my biggest income earner for a while, but it didn't take off till I just did this project with the blue hair.
Yeah.
So
And it's so interesting how the whole blue hair started. It was just started because we did that fun. Well, you did the blue hair and then we did the fundraiser.
Oh, wow.
right. Did you guys didn't know that at first, did you? That I went backwards on that. You thought I was genuinely doing a fundraiser and wanted to color my hair if we hit the goal. I don't think I said, because I was thinking everyone would think I was crazy. So what happened was I decided I wanted my hair blue. And that was the first thing that got decided. And it was because my kid had blue, orange, red, mohawk, inverted mohawk, shaved head, the whole range. And I thought just once, I want to do something kooky and have my hair. So then when I decided I wanted hair, I picked blue because that's my favorite color. And then I thought there must be something we can do, or I can do to get some mileage out of this so I don't look quite so kooky. And then it wasn't you that we brainstormed with, it was you and one of the others that
It was
realized
Dana.
Dana realized, yeah, the month was autism awareness. So then we're like, oh, you know what? We could do a fundraiser. I'd already booked my appointment to have the hair, but we said, if we raise so much money, we will do the hair. Because I felt pretty confident we would do it anyway.
Yeah.
So that we raised, what was it, 1,300 or 1,500?
Yeah, we raised a good amount
It
of
was-
little money there. And there
Dana
was
did
like
the
what,
most.
5 or 6 of us?
Yeah. And Dana did the most, I think. It was a great thing. But so after the 5 weeks, I didn't have it blue anymore. But of course, do you mind if I say that part? You might know that already, right, Michelle? During the 5 weeks. Oh, how we did the book? During the 5 weeks also happened to coincide. This was 2 years ago with the first Go Giver Success Alliance Zoom call I was on.
Oh.
And I went on that. I was trying up my game at the time. You know what I mean? Trying to get around people doing way better than me. And I was talking to Bob Berg, who wrote the Go Giver, about something else on the phone. He said, we're doing this mentoring community thing, and there's going to be all these big people on there. And I know Bob, and he always has groups of big achievers. So I thought this would be perfect because I'm going to be low man on the totem pole, and that's what I need to get my ass in gear. So I joined the group not realizing that my first call, I was going to be the Avon lady with blue hair. If I don't already look kooky enough, then I'm getting blue hair to boot. So what I decided to do was tell a joke about the blue hair, thinking at least they'd think I was funny. They may realize right away I'm the lowest man on the totem pole, but I'll be the funniest lowest man. So
Be unforgettable for sure.
So what I said was, if you want to have less judgment in your life, go ahead and dye your hair blue. This is working for me. I go down the grocery store and I see some lady in a tight skirt and I'm thinking, man, that lady's got a tight skirt, said the lady with the blue hair.
Blue hair.
And in the comments on that Zoom call, Jeff West was in that meeting too, but I didn't know him. I never met him. He knew Bob Berg 25 years, and so had I, but we just never happened to meet each other.
Wow.
And in the comments, he wrote, that would make a great title for a book that day. And it wasn't, we didn't know each other that day. And after that, we meet on the Go Giver thing every Wednesday. So after a long time, I knew him a lot better. I had him on my Monday morning show. So he came to me and he said, this was like a year after that. He said, we've been joking around about that book thing. Why don't we just do it?
Yeah.
And then we did. But I just think I don't know, amazing and awesome that a comment on a Zoom call when I happened to have blue hair, that was 5 weeks of blue hair out of my life of not having a wild color, happened to work into that book.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Planting the
just,
seeds, you know, as Jim Rohn would always say, if you've ever heard the Jim Rohn recording about birds, the birds and the seeds, you know, and it's planting the seeds. It's gonna fall on dead soil. It's gonna fall on, you know, I mean, it's biblical too, but it's the birds, and you're like the birds, the birds. So that seed was planted, and Jeff took that as a seed and is like, you know, this is pretty cool. And then somehow just your energy and your combination and just a little bit of watering and discussion here and there, and then boop, 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 and it bloomed into this beautiful thing. I love it.
yeah, it was just funny that we happened to, yeah. And I don't know, there's some people that you meet that you happen to click, you know, at business or, you know, even at work. I'm trying to think of, if you ever worked at a big office where there's a whole bunch of people, but you end up having a work husband because there's
Yeah.
somebody that you really, right. He's like that.
Yeah.
He's like that. I talk to him all the time.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's funny. But I thought at first, when I first found out that Bob knew him 25 years and he knew me for 25 years, I at first thought, what a shame we didn't get to meet each other beforehand, because we could have done other projects. We might have done other books or something together. But you know what? That is not true. We probably met at the right time, because I wouldn't have been as good of a partner to him as I could be right now, because I have different experiences and stuff, and I had worked on those other books of my own, and I had to collaborate with other stuff. So I was a better partner. And he said, once I said that to him, he said, that's true with him too. He said, we probably wouldn't have done anything if we'd have met sooner, because we weren't in the spot to do it.
Everything happens for a reason.
I know, that's
Everything happens in its own time, and everything happens for a reason.
it's just freaky.
It's very freaky. It's very freaky. Well, you know, it's funny when I've known Lisa. God, what have I known you? Maybe 5 or 6 years, 7 years now.
Yeah.
And when we had the convention here in Vegas, I wanted to meet Lisa, and when I saw her, I froze, literally froze in my tracks, because I was like, oh my God, it's Lisa freaking Wilber. It's Lisa freaking Wilber. And the entire time we were in Vegas, I didn't speak to her. I didn't get pictures with her.
Oh,
But I just
no.
and I've told you this story before. I would just like be in awe. Well, then during the pandemic, when you and Scola started doing the Zoom calls, that's when I really got to know Lisa. And I remember when we were in San Antonio, I said to her, you know, we're friends. And she says, yes, we're friends. I said, but we don't have any pictures together. And she's like, well, let's remedy that right now.
Yeah.
But it was like, it's like she was just so much of an idol to me that I was so afraid to meet her. And you know what? She's just a normal, everyday person who's so down to earth and so great. And I wish I had met her then, but the timing wasn't right.
You know, I was like that at the Promptings premiere thing. I didn't with Jordan. And I've met him like 3 other times. I got pictures with him too. And it's funny because he came in the hotel, and I was there doing a book signing. So it was Avon people, not SendOutCards people, but he didn't know that. We were all sitting in the front. So he came up and he was talking to everybody, but from across the room, he wears shades all the time. Plus I didn't have my glasses on. So he waved, and I'm thinking, is he waving at me? You know what I mean? You know what he was talking to me. I'm like, oh my God, Jordan Adler's talking to me.
He was at our sorry to talk about another company, the Contact Mapping Connect conference last October in Longmont, Colorado. Wonderful thing. Very first event we did, and it wasn't, you know, it really wasn't learning about the app. It was heart to heart of those two companies. It's getting to the deep core of the relationships of people. Love like crazy, then love more. Fire your brain and hire your heart. They go together. And that's where I think I've really, really found my niche. And Lisa, you've given me the hope that you don't even know this. You've given me the hope to go, you know, there's people that do this full time, and I need to know who those people are. But one of the things in the thing where Jordan was, Jordan was there. You got Jordan, you got Tom Chenault. I got to go pick up Richard Bliss Brooke from the airport. I had a
Wow.
45-minute drive, 45
Wow.
to an hour drive
That's awesome.
from Denver Airport to Longmont, Colorado. And he's interrogating me the whole time. And he's a curmudgeon. I mean, but I know he's got the soft heart. I'm like, you can't make me cry in the car. I'm driving, you know. He's like, oh yeah, I better not do that. You know, I kind of need to see. And it was like, you know, so you had Tom, Richard, Jordan, Teresa Savadogo. You would love her. Beautiful. She's got beautiful natural reddish hair, deep red auburn hair, beautiful hair, beautiful girl. And then Sean G. Murphy. And then J.W. Wilson. And J.W. Wilson wrote the wonderful book about cracking the learning code on how people learn differently. It's amazing. So you've got this gamut of, here you got Jordan Adler, here you got J.W. Wilson seeing eye to eye. Well, then here you got a Jenny Bellinger, and here you got a Sean G. Murphy seeing eye to eye. And I mean, just all, you see somebody on screen and you're like, okay, I'm thinking Lisa Wilber is going to be a tall girl, and you saying you're 5'4", 5'5". Well, we're going to see eye to eye because I'm 5'5". So it's like, okay.
Yeah, no, I'm not tall.
But in the course of that event, what I'm getting to is Tom got up there and talked about it, and then Jordan got up there and talked about it. And Jordan, as we were doing this conference, Jordan, I had the aisle next to me, but he was like 3 seats from me this way. Well, when I got to go to Utah for the whatever the promptings, whatever event was in 21, I guess, in November, Jordan was literally right in front of me. And I'm like, oh my God, you know, well, the Friday night of our get together, Jordan's getting up there and I said something. He goes, excuse me, who are you? And I'm like, I am like the newest person in the group. Literally everybody there had been there before and I'd never been there. So I was literally the newbie, you know, of the group. And he's like, oh, okay, la, 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 you know. And I'm like, well, he seemed kind of standoffish a little bit. These guys are introverts. They are wicked introverts. Yeah. You would not believe it. And one of them, I think it was JW, who was the learning code guy. He says, how many of you in the course of the weekend, you had Tom Chenault, you had Richard Brooke, you had Adrian, you had Jordan Adler, you had a Teresa. How many of you went up to them? There was only like 50-ish of us in the event. Went up to them and tried to get to know these people and get elbow to elbow with them. And, you know, so many people are like, oh. You know, and he goes, they're people too. They're extroverts. You've got their expertise. You're in the VIP group right here to get their expertise. Why didn't you? Because we, unbeknownst to us, place them on a pedestal that they're better than we are, that there's no way I can be that way. Well, shatter that. Here's your ocean. You know, what's behind me? Shatter that image right there, because you just walk up and you go, I'd be going, Lisa, you'd probably go, oh, sure. You know, I've gone to a conference before, and that turned that when the guy was telling me that, it totally turned a trigger around for me to know that I sat with Richard Brooke, and I'm like, okay, I know what kind of guy you are. I got to know a little bit about each one of them. Now I know if I saw him again, I'd go, hey, how's things going? How you doing? And I was in an event, a network marketing company, where Facebook was getting going really good, and you learn, you know, that's how you learn about relationships. I would literally, as they say, creep people out. I'd go and go, okay, who's this Lisa Wilber person? And she's from where and where? Okay, and Maureen's from where and where? And Kathy's from where? And Rhonda and Joanne. Okay, da-da-da-da. And I'd go to this event, and I might interact a little bit. And I'd go to this event, and my upline, unbeknownst to me, she was a little more of a standoffish person, but not the most healthy upline, if you know what I'm saying. It was like, you only your group, you never went cross-line. I'm like, well, you don't know Michelle, sorry. Anyways, no, I went to this event in our opening session, or our Friday night meet and greet thing, you know, where there was a sports event related thing and blah, blah, blah. And we're in there, one of the gals that was in the same company with me, my roommate, and she's like, oh, I'm tagging along behind you. I said, okay, I know you guys, so I'm not tagging along with you guys. If you want to tag along with me, fine, but I am not here for you. And they're like, what? And it opened their brain. I'm like, I'm not here for you. I see you every week. I'm here for these other people. And I'd walk into the room and I'm going, oh, shoot. Oh, there's Lisa Wilber. Okay. I walk over. Well, my upline, she says, Michelle, I want you to meet. And so it's like, here's me, here's Jennifer, here's Lisa. And you would go, oh my God, it's Michelle Bagram. And Jennifer got pissed because you knew who I was. And I'm like, because she didn't get the grand opportunity to be queen bee to introduce me to these upline people. Well, it's called the internet, Jennifer. And after that, I'm telling you, after that, our relationship was done. She would not hardly have anything to do with me. And I'm like, you know what? If this is the way you're going to be as
You
an
know,
upline, I don't want you.
she's not the only one though. A lot of people think they stay in their little thing. To me, it probably annoys people because my buddies, I don't always hang around with them at like the convention because I tell them, let's divide and conquer. We already know each
Right.
other. We can hang
Right.
around the pool later maybe, but if when we're at the event, we need to spread out and not hang around with the same people we always hang around with because then you don't meet the other people. So
And
it's
then to know
divide
we
and
had,
conquer.
yeah,
Yeah.
this particular event there was 5 owners of the company, and 4 of the 5, well, one of them was in party and then he ended up coming out later. But the other 4 were at this table, like the big party's in this room, but we're outside with these side tables. And we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, Derek goes, Michelle, right? And I'm like, you know who I am? You know, I didn't have my name tag on or nothing. I'm like, okay, this is cool. And he goes, sit. And I'm sitting down and da-da-da-da-da. And we're just talking. And I'm with the owners of the company.
Nice.
And we're just talking, in the upline master distributors. And we're just talking, and I'm going, oh my gosh. Well, then one of the other gals who was even newer, she walked up and she's like literally between me and Derek. And she's like up against my elbow and she whispers in my, she goes, who's this guy? And I'm going, he's the top owner of the company. You don't know? Okay. And she's like, what? I'm like, and she was the party girl. She wanted to be in there partying. I didn't. It got too noisy. I wanted to be networking. So between SendOutCards and then the contact mapping and stuff, I've learned literally and excavated myself in the last couple of years in healing from being a caregiver for a mother who had Alzheimer's. I've learned that this is my niche. This is what I enjoy, is connecting people, you know, and seeing you on the call with Jenny, you know, on Jenny's thing that she did a few weeks ago. And then tonight, seeing you on that, it was like, oh my gosh, how fun.
Can I
So
can I tell you, because the other guys that have a stake in their own company don't tell you this because they don't want you doing this. But for me, you were so smart doing more than one. So my strategy is I pick the one that's going to be my main money, the one I earn the most with. And that for me, it happens to be Avon because I've done it the longest and I've got the biggest business in that. But from the beginning, from the very beginning, I've done side hustles and I get crap for it all the time. And I try very hard not to rep for something that competes with my line in Avon.
right.
But I always do side hustles because even though Avon is a very well-established company, as are many of the companies out there, whatever that you're repping for, we've seen companies go down a lot in this industry. I think you have to be ready to pivot if you have to.
You do.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I think that in the course of, sorry, you know, Kathy Maureen, anybody chime in, that not that we're hogging this call or anything, but in this kind of situation, it's and the world, COVID changed a lot for a lot of people.
Right.
These companies that want to
Yeah.
keep you like this, it's like, what is the saying? If the tighter you hold the reins, the worse the horse is going to buck. It's like, you're going to hold me in on this, you know. And now I know of 2 or 3 other network marketing companies from people that I've been involved with, and they're like, we don't care if you compete with somebody. We don't care if you're involved in another network marketing company or whatever. Do ours right. But wait, you know, if you do something wrong or say something wrong, then we'll come slap your hand, you know. And I think that's what it needs to be, because the best person's going to know a little bit about it. Like, I'd be going, who do I know? It's an Avon lady. Oh, I know just the person here. Here's Lisa's information. You know, who do I know who does SendOutCard? Oh, here I know Jordan Adler. I have Jordan Adler's number. They're like, what? How do you know that? I know somebody who knows somebody's phone number, which is Tom Chenault knows everybody. That knows everybody.
Jordan Adler has a house here in Vegas.
Yeah.
And when he put that picture on about Mount Charleston, when the snow at his house, I was like, it's so interesting because I live in Henderson.
I know
So
where that
I'm
is.
like so close to the mountain, but yet we didn't have that. And I'm like, there's so many times when he's here in town that I'm like, I wonder if I would ever run into him. And then I'm like, you know what? I don't travel in his circle. And I'm like, but why do you think? And I think like that. And then I say to myself, why do you think like that, that you don't travel in his circle just because you're not up at the top here? It doesn't mean you don't travel in his circle.
Right.
You just haven't had the opportunity to meet him yet.
Just reach out to him and say, hey, Jordan, he goes out and he listens to jazz. He loves jazz too. And he'll post life things of jazz or whatever,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay. And I feel the same way. The next time, now that I've met him personally twice, the next time I'd be going up to Jordan and saying, hey, how you doing here and here and here? Because both of the times that I have met him, we're in smaller groups. Now, if it's a convention, I'll be the girl, I'll kind of get to know it, and then I hug the wall because of an energy thing with me. And I can spot fake a mile away. I'm like, okay, yeah, although I will not do my best to not judge the book by its cover, but a lot of times I do go by the gut instinct and I'm right. I'm like, okay, Lisa's got blue hair. Okay, there's a story behind that. And I love Lisa even more, Maureen. I'm like, hey, next time, I've only been in Vegas once and it was a good time, but it wasn't a good time because somebody took advantage of me and never paid her bill.
Oh,
And yeah, it wasn't a pretty thing. And it was just like, oh my gosh. But anyways, doesn't matter. But it's those people to know, okay, if I were to go out to Vegas again, ooh, I could call Maureen. Hey, Maureen, what you doing? Let's go have supper. No, I don't have to go down to the strip. I'd rather go up on the mountains and just look at the lights.
well,
You know,
that's the one thing, because I used to live in Tucson and I'm originally from upstate New York. And when my mom comes to visit, she's like, I love that I visit where you live. She says, because I see the non-touristy things.
yeah.
She's like, and I like that so much. She says, because if you didn't live there and I went to visit, all I'd see is the touristy stuff.
Yeah.
So, and she loves that because I take her to these areas that, the tour bus wouldn't take her to, or, and stuff. And that's true. And when you live here, you don't like going to the strip. The strip is a place that locals do not like.
That's just like Branson. And she was so offended because I was like, okay, it's a glorified Branson. It's Branson. It's just bigger architecture and way more lights. And she's like, what? And
So
I'm like,
have you thought
I
about
worked in
sending a
Branson. I
card?
lived in Branson. So
Sending a
again?
card to Jordan?
Who, me?
yeah, I've seen,
Yeah.
yeah. Maureen, do it. Hey, neighbor.
Look in the chat. I'll put Jordan's mailing address.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't even know how I have it. I don't even know. It's a P.O. box, so I'm sure he doesn't care that I've got it, but I don't know why I have it. Tempe, Arizona. I've got the Arizona one, but that
You
he
got the
gets
Arizona one? Okay.
8085280.
P.O. Box one.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how I happen to have that, but I did happen to have that. So yeah, send him a card. Send him a card. Here I put.
I will.
There you go.
Perfect. All right. I'll take a picture of it. Thank you.
Yay, yay.
Yeah, it's
Did you
just,
have any things that you wanted to bring up, Kathy, before we went? Because we're at time already.
No, I'm just
good.
trying to get back into doing things again.
Oh, good.
The school is getting to the end.
No, I'm glad you popped on. It was good to see you. And how about Rhonda and Joanne? I think Joanne's probably doing a show or something. She usually is. And is that what you're doing?
I'm good.
Oh, good. Okay. And
Good
Rhonda,
also.
you're good, Rhonda?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure if you came on to help to have a problem solved that I was here for you. I think anymore it's sharing ideas more unless it's someone new, because we've talked about a lot of the things, the fundamentals of making cards. Now it's more like, why are we making cards? I think, don't you? That was the funny thing. The first SendOutCards thing I went to, I was surprised because at an Avon event, we talk about the new cologne or the new body lotion and what it's made of and the 7 layers of your skin and all that stuff. When I went to the SendOutCards convention, we didn't talk about making cards. They never brought it up. It never was discussed.
Huh.
They didn't show us how to make a card. They didn't talk about making cards. All they talked about was the effect the card had on the receiver. It was the story behind the card. That was it.
Right.
And the first time that happened, and I went to the convention, it was all about the stories. I came home and I'm like, you are not going to believe this. They didn't discuss the cards. They never talked about the cards. They didn't show cards. They didn't talk about how to make cards. I was just so surprised. But since then, of course, I've realized that's smart. That's the smartest strategy going, because it is about the feelings that people get when they get your card.
Yep.
So
But
I
anyway-
do have to thank y'all. While we were doing this, I wrote a card to a friend of mine who has Alzheimer's, and I'm sending that flower to her.
Beautiful.
Oh, awesome.
She'll love it.
That's
Yeah,
They'll love
and I
it.
perfect.
sent her pictures of my dog because she loves my dog.
Oh, that's perfect. I hope if you hear how it goes over, you let us know.
Oh, she's going to text me as soon as she gets it.
Oh, good. That'll be fun. Okay, everybody, I'll put this up on the YouTube channel. If you have any issues between now and next Thursday, just text me. We can hop on a call together and do it on share screen. I can help you with any issues. Okay,
Thanks,
thank
Miss
you.
Lisa.
Thank you so much for spending the hour. I appreciate it. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, girls.